Okay, if the board members can make sure they have their microphones on, please. Okay, good evening. The hour being 6:30 PM on Monday, November 27th, 2023. I'd like to call to order the Village of Brookfield Board meeting. Would everyone please join me in a pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, Bridget, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Here.
Trustee Cote?
Here.
Trustee Hendricks?
Here.
Trustee Niramatsu?
Here.
Trustee Gilhooly?
Here.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Here.
And President Garvey.
Here. Thank you. We have no appointments or presentations at this time. At this point in the meeting, I will open it up to public comment. Is there anyone on this side that has any public comment? Yes, Steve? If you could state your name for the record, please.
Steve Saburn. I was here to comment on the proposal for 8845 Burlington Avenue. Just wanted to say that I do support this project, but I do hope that the village board considers it without the 5 on-street diagonal parking spaces. I really think that you're taking away some green space. The one thing that really came to mind when I had seen this proposal is that, the headlights are going to be shining into these first floor units, brand new units that are being built. Anytime that people are going to be entering and exiting the parking spaces, headlights are going to be shining into your units. So many of these residents will most likely have all their shades down 24/7. So I really think that, the village should consider keeping the on-street parking and not having it off-street and diagonal. And it is not necessary to meet the parking requirements for this development, and I think we need to remember the confusion about the parking that was on Park Avenue north of 31st Street when that daycare center was proposed. Everyone was kind of confused as to whether or not that was city parking or was it, privately owned. And I think just to prevent future confusion, we should keep this as on-street and not diagonal parking. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anyone else on this side? Anyone else on this side? Okay, hearing no further public comment, we'll move on to reports of special committees, please. Trustee Cote?
I'd like to make a motion to approve corporate warrant dated November 27th, 2023 in the amount of $3,366,973.27.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Hendricks. Does anybody have any questions or comments related to the warrant? Any highlights, Trustee
Yeah,
Cote?
this warrant includes $2.5 million in bond payments, which is common during this time of year, and that'll be all the bond payments required through the end of the year. So there won't be another bond payment for the end of the year. I believe the next bond payments will come up in March.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Niramatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gilhooly?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Our DPW department has been very busy, especially with leaf pickup. Streets department has been very busy with that. That should continue on through the end of this week, I believe, correct? And please be alert on your parking signs on your streets. December 2nd is coming up. And after the first snowfall, et cetera, or when there's 2 inches or more of snow, the parking does change. So please take a look at the parking signs on your street going forward. The forestry department has continued to deploy the holiday decorations. They set up the Christmas tree in preparation for the upcoming holiday celebration, and they will be working on decorating a Christmas tree in Ellert Park as well. The water department has been busy repairing leaks, repairing several leaking water services, and assisting with the leaf pickups. And as always, if you see an issue in town that you wish to have the village address, please open a request via C-Click Fix. That is the best way for that information to get through to the Department of Public Works. The library has been teaming up with Greater Chicago Food Depository and will be providing afternoon snacks for kids all the way through March 20th from 3 to 5 p.m. on school days. And as always, the Linda Sokol Francis Public Library has a great many events, so please go to their website to look up what they have coming. Veterans looking for mental health assistance can do so via the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center. So please call 312-569-6177 to get started in enrollment. If you are struggling or know somebody who is struggling, please call 988. If you are a veteran or you are calling about a veteran, you call 988 and hit option 1. The VA does have a national coaching into care program where they have licensed psychologists and social workers willing to talk to you via phone, free of charge, and help you, assist you through the VA system. You can speak to a VA coach at 888-823-7458. We have other resources via the VACC, Veterans Affairs of Cook County. You can find that information via the Brookfield website. If you go to our village website, click on Community, and you'll see a link to the VACC website. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Cote. Trustee Gahuli, Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, there's a lot coming up here. This past weekend, we were happy to do a ribbon cutting for a grand opening for Prairie Path Market, Vintage Market here on Grand Avenue. So there was kind of a packed house in there after that ribbon cutting, so we're really happy to have them in Brookfield and all the business that they'll generate. So we'll welcome them. Also, the 25th was Small Business Saturday here. Lots of people were encouraged to shop local, and many people did. Wanted to reiterate from our last meeting that we have new this year is the Brookfield gift card. This is a gift card you can purchase here at Village Hall. I know some of these are going out to some of the businesses, or you could purchase them there as well. And these can be used at local businesses. You can give them as gifts so other people can shop local. And it's just a great way to support our local community business environment. You can also buy an gift card as well through the village website. So you can go to enjoybrookfield.com to purchase it there. And it's just such a great new opportunity to shop local. So we hope you take a look at those for the holiday season especially. Now coming up, our biggest new thing is the holiday celebration coming up next Saturday on December 2nd. This will include a range of events spanning from 10 a.m. all the way through 6 p.m. with the tree lighting. There will be new this year a Kris Kringle Market here in the parking lot of Village Hall. There are about 50 vendors that will be coming out for local vendors of all different types. Gina Shernow from the Brookfield Farmers Market is heading that up and was even featured on Fox News this week to talk about that and give Brookfield a little shout out, a little exposure, which is really wonderful. So we're looking forward to some good weather. We have online over 7,000 people saying that they're interested in attending that. So they are also looking for volunteers to come help set up tents. We sit and help with any of that. So if anyone is interested, you can contact Gina Shernow through the Farmers Market website or the Chamber of Commerce website, or you can reach out to me and I'm happy to connect anybody with her. So in addition to that, for the holiday celebration, I'll give you a few ideas. We will have the trolley again this year. This is the Polar Express that will run between 8 Corners and Village Hall, making several stops along the way. So if you don't want to walk the whole distance, feel free to jump on. That will be running most of the day. There's also, so there'll be stops at the Kris Kringle Market, at the historic Rosedale Station. The museum will be open on the 2nd. We'll stop at Irish Times and the Brookfield Library, as well as 8 Corners. So there'll be lots of stuff going on with like snow globe you can have your picture taken with, lots of craft activities. We also have something special this year, which is a new Brookfield Chamber of Commerce mug. The supplies are limited, but you can buy those at the Chamber of Commerce tent right here. Good. Way to display that. Very excited.
They're very good. They're
Now,
very big.
On Saturday, you'll be able to fill that with coffee and hot chocolate, and who knows if there's any other businesses serving other things, you may be able to fill that up and get a little spirit there. But those are limited, so if you see them and you want one, I'd go ahead and buy one of those. Some of the businesses will also be selling those. So Santa will be at Irish Times, so always a great draw. Get in line early, it's my recommendation, in the cottage behind, in the back of Irish Times there. So please enjoy this tree ceremony, the tree lighting ceremony at 8 Corners. Santa will ride up on the fire engine around 5:45. The tree will be lit at 6, so don't miss it. And we'll be able to fill the circle there and have a really fun evening, and then feel free to filter back into the business districts to have some dinner and enjoy the evening. So there's a lot of work going into this by the chamber and from the village staff, so and a lot of volunteers. So I really appreciate all the work that's gone into it so far, and looking forward to a great celebration. The chamber's next meeting is Monday, December 13th at the Linda Sokol Francis Brookfield Library. And that ends my report.
Thank you very much, Trustee Gahuli. Trustee Hendricks, Planning and Zoning?
Yes, the Planning and Zoning meeting took a look at one case, which was about control of off-street parking facilities and shared parking lots. It's kind of a code cleanup, and it'll, I think, be coming to us, I think, next month, next meeting. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Hendricks. Trustee Ketchmark, Administration, Economic Development?
Economic Development Commission met Wednesday, the 15th of November, for a very busy meeting. Mike Gatto presented his request for TIF incentives for the development on the bowling alley site for 12-unit residential building with no commercial. He additionally had asked that the village convey the land to him at no cost. There was very good discussion amongst the commission with many questions of Mr. Gatto as well as staff. While the commission appeared to support residential in the area, there was concern of the cost of the property. Ultimately, the EDC did vote 4-2 in favor of the TIF incentive, but with the condition that Mr. Gatto pay for the cost of what we have into the land. Mr. Gatto thanked the commission for their honest discussion. Subsequently, last week in discussions with Manager Weiberg, he put his request on hold. So at this time, it does not appear it will be heard by the village board in the short term. There were 2 property improvement program grants on the agenda, which will be voted on later this evening. One for Chicago Vending Solutions on Ogden Avenue and one for Treasures Depot on Broadway. Both were unanimously approved. But the one for Treasures Depot also included a dollar amount for lighting improvements that were not part of the original application, and I think you will see that in the memo from staff. Following up a little bit more on the gift card, this is something EDC started talking about in late summer, trying to come up with a new idea of how to approach this from some of our past programs. Thank you to Emily and her staff, Juan Silva from EDC and Annette Pardon from the Chamber, that worked on the gift card that was unveiled last week. Maybe Trustee Gahuli mentioned this. There is no time limit or expiration on the card. Additionally, it's being for sale at Village Hall and online. Emily will have them for sale at the Kris Kringle Mart this weekend. The village has preloaded $25, $50, and $100 amounts on many of these cards, or you can have it loaded for whatever amount you want. This was posted on the Economic Development Facebook page and was shared 35 times and seen by over 5,700 people. The next meeting was rescheduled 1 week earlier. It'll be on December 13th instead of December 20th. Also, as part of the holiday celebration, the Grossdale Station Museum will be open from 2 to 5 on Saturday. On display will be a great photo op with a 1902 one-horse open sleigh loaded with Santa's presents. So make sure to stop by for that. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Ketchmark. I believe, and Emily, I think is confirming it, that there's a 5-year expiration date on the gift cards, but if you can't spend them within 5 years in Brookfield, you're doing something wrong, so we'll make sure that that's clear, that there's a 5-year expiration date. And as Trustee Gahuli and Trustee Ketchmark pointed out, it's an exciting new program. It's gained a lot of attention, and, you know, we want you to use it to shop in businesses in Brookfield. But it's also good to pay. You could pay your water bill with them. You could sign up for recreation programs. I mean, if there's any grandparents looking for a great present for their grandchildren, you could give them a gift card, and they could sign up for the rec program of their choosing. You know, if you reward your mail carrier or your garbage collectors, they are in Brookfield, they might like something like that. So we'd really like to see people get creative and really support Brookfield businesses by buying these and using them. So it's a great idea. And they're good, you know, we're going to continue this program. It's not just for the holidays. It was kicked off on the holidays, and there's a lot of great opportunities to use them here in Brookfield. So thank you. Trustee Naramatsu, Parks and Recreation.
Yes, the Parks and Rec program had day off school camps this past week during the Thanksgiving break. There are also some available in December for the long holiday winter break we have this year from December 27th through the 29th and January 2nd through the 5th. So you can sign your kids up so they don't get too bored at home. The Parks and Rec department is starting a Nature Explorer preschool. I mentioned this at our last board meeting. That will, I think, officially start in January. So we're really excited about that. Pavilion reservations will begin in early January as well, so we look to next summer already. And I know that the staff in the Parks and Rec department are looking to hire some more staff for after-school programs in some of our schools. That's all I have. Our next meeting is Tuesday, December 19th.
Thank you. Trustee Kaluzny, Conservation and Beautification.
Yes, the Beautification Commission has not met since our last meeting, but their next meeting will be December 12th at 6:30 p.m. here at Village Hall. The Conservation Commission is postponing their meeting to early December to continue work on the sustainability plan, so they are not going to meet tomorrow. However, they did have a really good meeting in the Hollywood neighborhood around the South Kiwanis Park on November 13th. Some good attendance and great feedback. They are meeting next week to debrief from that and plan their January public engagement meeting, which will be for anyone in Brookfield, not just the Hollywood neighborhood. So I'll share more on that when that date is set and finalized. I also wanted to share that the Cross Community Climate Collaborative, or C4, is hosting a climate action simulation game at the Riverside Public Library this Thursday, November 30th at 7 p.m. And it's to explore policy solutions and addressing climate change with stakeholders throughout the communities. So it looks pretty cool, really interactive. If you're interested, it's on the Riverside, Village of Riverside website. And I will share when the next meeting is once they decide, but again, we do not have a Conservation Commission meeting tomorrow night. It'll be in December. That ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee Kaluzny. The Solid Waste Agency and WCMC have not met since our last meeting. Brookfield Zoo, you know, they've started their holiday events and the holiday lights, and things have gone pretty well so far. They've had big crowds, but the communication has been really good between the village and the zoo, and the staggered reservation times and asking people to use the North Gate, and has gone really well. I was at the high school for some basketball games this weekend, and at a few points there was lines of traffic, but they have people out there working the line to make sure that if they're going to the South Gate, they have a reservation. If not, they're sending them away, and they're also there to, if you're not there for the holiday lights and you're there for the basketball game, you're trying to get into the Rockefeller lot, though. So I didn't see any really long backups, and I know there was pretty big crowds there Friday and Saturday, so we anticipate pretty big crowds this coming Saturday. I think it's a big night for them, and then with our holiday celebration. And I was talking to Riverside. They have their holiday celebration Friday night. So just, you know, we want a lot of people here. We want to make sure there's traffic flow and safety. And I assure you there's good communication between the Brookfield Police Department, the Riverside Police Department, and the zoo and the high school. So we'll do the best we can with that and try and keep things flowing. At this point, I would entertain a motion to pass the omnibus agenda as listed.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Naramatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're going to move on to the items under regular business, and the first is related to 8845 Burlington. At this point, I'm going to ask for a motion that we have two alternative ordinances, and I'll allow comment after, but I'd ask for a motion to pass the first one, which is an ordinance to approve a preliminary plan development for the property located at 8845 Burlington Avenue without the 5 on-street diagonal parking spaces.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by trustee Ketchmark, second by trustee Gilhuli, and I'm allowed the board on public comment, but it's my understanding the applicant would like to address the board? Or would you like to say something?
Sure. Peter Hallius.
Yeah, if you could just come up so the microphone picks you up, thank you.
Sure. Peter Hallius, the developer. And, I know there's been a lot of consternation about the diagonal parking. So at this point, why don't we just consider, taking the diagonal parking off the table and just go with the parking as is?
Okay. And I understand that you added that as a feature that you thought maybe I understand, did have some discussion about it, and I know board members have visited the area, and I'll open it back up to board discussion but in a moment, but I appreciate you coming up at this point.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. That was it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience, since I opened it up to public comment by the applicant, that would like to say anything about this particular project? Okay, seeing no one else, I'll open it up to board comments or discussions, if any.
With the on-street parking as it is, how many parking spots are there? Do we remember?
4, it says in the memo.
It's 4? Yeah, okay, so it's 4, and then we would only be increasing it by, we would lose 2, and then you would increase it by,
It would be a net gain of 1.
yeah, net gain of like 1 or 2, right? So,
One.
okay. Thank you.
The net gain of 1, we lose the entire parkway on the east side, and the sidewalk needs to be enlarged 2 feet to allow for the overhang of the vehicles, and then the street needs to be widened on the other side of the street to gain 1 parking spot, which would be public parking. They're not needed as part of the project. I think we leave it as is for that.
Other questions or comments from the board? Okay, there's a motion and a second. To be clear, this is for the option that does not include the 5 on-street diagonal parking spaces. Bridget, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nearmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. So the second ordinance under that is not necessary for us to address that because the first one passed. The next item, I'd entertain a motion to pass an ordinance to approve a special use permit for the adaptive reuse of a former religious school and variances from the off-street parking and loading requirements and bulk yard and space requirements for 8900 Windermere Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by trustee Kaluzny, second by trustee Ketchmark. And again, I'm going to open it up to, is the developer here would like to address the board? You don't have to, but if you'd like to come up to the microphone, and I'll give anyone else a chance also. If you could just state your name for the record, please.
Sure. Brandon Kurdziel.
Okay.
So we listened to some of the comments that were made about possibly reducing the number of units to stay within the 2 parking spots per unit. We like to consider ourselves problem solvers, win-win for everybody. Looking at the structure and how it's built, most residential buildings would be a little bit longer. This is a little square, and we were kind of keeping these units within the existing classrooms. Also, when we did try to refigure everything, we really weren't losing any bedrooms. The bedroom count would remain the same, which I think factors into possibly the number of parking spaces that were the concern. And if you eliminate some kitchens, I think you're actually adding a few bedrooms. So there may be even more people in the building. I know a couple of other developers have tried to make this thing work, and we've considered every option, exhausted everything, and we really need to keep it at the number of units that we have originally planned.
Thank you. I appreciate you adding that. I think you explained that previously at the committee of the whole, but we appreciate you clarifying that you did take the chance to look at it. And I know the board's thought about it and looked at it, so thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else in the audience that wants to comment on this particular project? Okay, hearing no further comment from the audience, I'll open it to comments or discussion from the board. Anybody want to add anything at this point?
I just really struggle with the density of this building in that particular area, and the parking, mostly the parking. That's really my only issue here. I'm concerned that neighbors in the homes will see a large increase in the unavailability of parking in that area. So I really struggle with this. I think it's a great reuse of this building. I like the idea of it. I really struggle with the parking.
And I think it was clear the Plan Commission struggled with it too and thought, I mean, they're familiar with the previous developments that came forward. And I don't know if that factored into their decision in finding the hardship, kind of went with the property maybe as opposed to the particular owner's situation, because we've had a couple of projects, come forward and not follow through on or withdrawn because of that, as the developer explained. And it's up to the board to decide, is that a hardship as it comes with the property or the piece of land and the way it is. So, any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing no further questions or comments, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nirmatsu?
Nay.
Trustee Gilhuli?
No.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution approving the Property Improvement Program grant request for Chicago Vending Solutions at 8857 Ogden Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Ketchmark, second by trustee Cote. This was addressed, as trustee Ketchmark indicated, at the recent EDC meeting. There was a recommendation from them. We have drawings and renderings of what is proposed. Are there any questions or comments from the board? It is a pretty substantial project, and I believe they're asking for the maximum grant amount.
It looks really great. Has anyone from Ogden taken advantage of this one before? I thought that was pretty exciting. Two others? Great. It's awesome.
And as we anticipated with this program, as it started off a little slow, but I think we're seeing that we've had some success with these, and when they see how smoothly they go and what's there, that we do have money in the TIF funds to incentivize this, and we're getting some good return on our investment by getting large projects and large improvements on some buildings. So, any other questions or comments on this particular grant request? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Niramatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, and then the last item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the execution of a property improvement grant program agreement with the Treasures Depot Incorporated in the Village of Brookfield.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Ketchmark, second by trustee Kaluzny. Again, the EDC addressed this, recommended. Any questions or comments?
I had a question more about the lighting, if you could share a little more. So they did not include lighting in the original proposal, but they're
No.
going to add it?
Okay.
Cool.
Emily? I'm going to ask Emily Egan to address this.
Sure, that was not included in the original proposal, as you stated. It is going to be added. It was a recommendation by the EDC. They set a limit of a maximum $5,000 to include that electric work, and we did receive a quote, 2 quotes for that work. Both were under $1,500. So they do have 2 quotes for that work. They're considering the gooseneck lighting that would be at the front facade and meet our design guidelines and our code.
Right now, there's lighting, if you look in the left picture, the current picture, there's lighting actually underneath there that lights down.
Okay.
So that's what the commission was discussing, and if they're going to go through with this, we're going to approve the facade. Let's take care of that lighting on it.
Yep. Great.
Okay. And again, this was a unanimous recommendation from the EDC. Questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nermatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. That ends the items we have under new business. I'll move on to the manager's report, please.
Just one item, and that's to acknowledge and thank the public and the business community. The most dreaded upon impacts of the closing of Prairie Avenue Crossing and downtown streets, really, I'm sure it was an inconvenience, but it really didn't come to pass in terms of the traffic bottlenecks that we thought were going to stretch all the way from Brookfield's northern to southern limits. And I would say the business community has been extremely patient through the closing that ended early. The street was open, the intersection was open last Wednesday, and things are running smoothly. So I just want to acknowledge and thank everyone's patience for that project.
Now we can access the best-looking bridge in the area, right?
Best looking bridge. And kind of put some Christmas decorations on that bridge.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Yes, it was, the businesses were very excited for this weekend to have it open. I was actually sitting in Tim's office that afternoon, and Tim looked out the window and saw the barricades being lifted, and I saw him,
I had to wait until President Garber was in my office.
he looked like a kid on Christmas, and the business owners were very happy that evening. I was actually at Burger Antics having dinner with some people, and I told them, and they were very, very excited, and word spread down the block pretty quickly that it was open, because it was actually early, so they were very excited. So thank you to everyone involved in that. All right, that ends the items we have on the village board agenda, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the village board meeting at 7:01 PM.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Naramatsu, made by trustee Naramatsu, second by trustee Hendricks.
Kaluzny?
Kaluzny? I thought, okay, trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nermatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll start the committee of the whole meeting in just a few moments.